Hello everyone, week 9 of Law, Crime and Punishment is upon us, and this week we're discussing a fascinating topic, the philosophy of punishment. We're going to deal with the age-old question, why do we punish? What is the purpose or point of punishment? And how much should we punish? The week's reading material is the eye-opening, brilliant text by Cheryl Webster and Anthony Doob, Searching for Sasquatch, Deterrence of Crime Through Sentence Severity. And we will also listen carefully to the heartbreaking, terrifying story of Samantha Brown, presented in episode 604, titled 20 Years Later, of the well-known podcast This American Life. Notice that the story includes description of extreme violence and sexual violence, so beware and brace yourselves. We began our conversation about punishment and the philosophy behind it in week 4, as you surely remember. And we mentioned several potential justifications for punishment. Rehabilitation, that is, we send people to prison in order to quote-unquote correct them, hence the name correctional institution. Another justification is incapacitation, that is, in the case that one is presumed to be a danger to society, one will be put behind bars in order to prevent that person from causing more harm. That is, incapacitation as some sort of a protective measure for society. A third justification is retribution, a philosophy based on the biblical principle of eye for an eye, according to which we demand that people who commit a crime are punished in a similar way, and in that way pay back their debt to society. A less fancy way to describe this philosophy is simply revenge. The fourth justification for punishment, and the one we'll be focusing on this week, is deterrence. The idea that by punishing people, we send a message to the rest of society that what that person did was wrong, and that if anyone else chooses to behave in a similar way, there will be dire consequences. In other words, punishment is used as a warning to the rest of society to abstain from committing similar crimes. In more simple language, it is an attempt to scare the rest of society by punishing the people who are caught and convicted of committing crimes. More specifically, the article we read for the week, Searching for Sasquatch, focuses on deterrence through severity. That is, the argument that crime may be decreased by increasing the severity of the punishments. It's the most typical argument, one that we hear everywhere when another heinous crime is discussed on the news. Judges are being too soft. We need longer punishments. We need to be tough on crime. It's an attitude toward crime and punishment that dates back to Richard Nixon in the 70s, during which he referred to it as law and order. It continued with Ronald Reagan in the 1980s and culminated with Bill Clinton in the 1990s, during which one of his main campaign promises was to be tough on crime. Searching for Sasquatch presents several arguments against the tough on crime attitude and shows why DTS, deterrence through severity, is ineffective in practice. What's truly fascinating about this article is that it pays attention not only to the empirical ineffectiveness of DTS, but also to the question why it is that so many people believe in it with no real evidence to back it up. There is something so intuitively convincing about DTS. It seems so obvious that increasing the punishment will deter crime, and the author discussed it and provide a very interesting explanation for why that is the case. To conclude, the question, why punish, is an important and fascinating one. Most people don't bother to stop and ask themselves why we punish people for committing crimes. Because again, it seems so intuitive, so obvious. I encourage you to take this question very seriously and to not take punishment for granted. By that, I do not mean that we should not punish at all. What I mean is that if we do, we should have sound, well thought out reasons to do it. That is it for today, folks. I wish you a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.